quick way. We will discuss the first 50 questions of this exam. Then we will finish off the explanation with the polity. Last polity you have that. Yeah. So we will try to go through these questions. Online students, are you able to listen? Online students, is audio and video, is everything okay? Okay. First question. The first question is regarding the SNT. With reference to dry ice, consider the following statements. Obviously, it is a solid form of the carbon dioxide. You know that, okay? So, first answer, first statement is right. That means option A, option D, we can eliminate. That means only two options are left, option B and option C. Then we will try to figure out the second one. It is used primarily as a cooling agent. Of course, when we order the Zomato, Swiggy, they'll keep the dry ice. So, second statement is right. So, when you know that first statement and second statement are right, that means obviously your answer will be the B. Your answer will be B. Once you know that two statements are right. This is how you have to eliminate the answers, okay, by using some common sense. Next, with reference to Indian National Satellite System, consider the following statement. This is regarding INSAT. Obviously, INSAT is about the Earth observation. It will give all the climatic information and everything, Earth observation. When you want to observe the Earth, obviously you have to keep the satellite in where? Geosynchronous or geostationary. That is a where. So, the first statement is it is a communication satellite system of India under which satellites are placed in low Earth orbit. No, you can't place the satellite in the low Earth orbit. You have to place in the higher level, that is geosynchronous orbit only you have to place in the low Earth orbit. So, recently in the low Earth orbit, it is in news, especially when we were saying about the Chandrayaan program, not Chandrayaan. So, Indian Space Station is going to be in the low Earth orbit. So, the first statement is it is a communication satellite system of India under which satellites are placed in low Earth orbit. No, it is wrong. So, if you eliminate the option 1, in the answers, in the options, if you eliminate the statement number 1, then your answer will be eventually B, 2 and 3. So, what is the second statement? It is used to provide service to telecommunication, weather forecasting, disaster warning and search and rescue operation, right? And EduSat, Kalpana, One Hamsat, these are the part of the system. So, what is the nature of the question here? The nature of the question is once you are able to identify one statement, then rest of the entire answer you can derive. That statement is whether this particular satellite is a low Earth orbit or geosynchronous. That means in your current affairs, when you are reading about any particular mission, for example, Gaganyaan, or if you are reading about the Shukrayaan, recently in current affairs video, I mentioned about the Aditya L1. So, Aditya L1 is going to be placed in a Lagrange point 1. L1 is a Lagrange point. How many Lagrange points we have? 5 Lagrange points. 3 are in linear and 4th one and 5th one on the either side of the earth. So, that means when you are reading about any particular mission or satellite, now you came to know that whether it is a polar one, whether it is a geosynchronous or whether it is a geostationary, you have to remember. So, that should be your approach when you are reading the current affairs with respect to satellite. And you should also know that what are the uses of that particular satellite. And in fact, this question did not ask, but sometimes you have to even remember about who developed that. If India developed that particular satellite with any other countries in collaboration, that is also you have to remember. That should be your approach. The reading, this is the effect actually. Actually, this is about the question is about the result of your learning. So, you should take from this question what your learning should be. Okay, third question. The color of the sun appears reddish during sunset. Which of the following is the reason behind this phenomena? So, you can answer these kind of questions, especially when you are very good in the NCERT physics. NCERT basic science, if you are very good, you will answer this question. It's okay, even though you couldn't answer this question, that's fine. But this question is based on the NCERT level knowledge. First one is absorption of light rays by the atmosphere. Absorption of the light rays by atmosphere, no. Okay. Human eyes are not sensitive to other colors during the part of the day. It is also irrelevant. Scattering of light rays by atmospheric particle, of course, due to light scattering. So, this reddish color during the sunset will appear. This is the light scattering. Generally, when you are reading the light topic in NCERT, different phenomena of light you will observe. Light scattering, reflection, again, total internal reflection, refraction, okay. These are the various things you will go through and check that. Especially, questions can be expected even the concave lens, convex lens, usage of that. So, these are the areas where you have to check. Please go through that. Even sometimes they will test your knowledge that is internet will be very faster in the optical fiber. So, in the optical fiber, what kind of technology they will use? Total internal reflection. So, these kind of the things. So, generally NCERT based physics, maths, this physics and chemistry, In physics especially, light, heat, sound, these are the areas of the questions you have to focus in the NCERTs. Okay. Next, space launch country. Actually, this is somewhat the memory based question. Jian 1 2E, it is related to China. Angara A5 Russia. Goffin also China. So first pair and third pair is the right one. Second pair is the wrongly matched. So again, this is the SNT based question where you have to know about different countries and different satellite system. In this way, even sometimes in a current affairs video also I told you. For example, if you are discussing about IRNSS, the same model type of question I will tell you. IRNSS India, GLONASS Russia, GPS USA, BIDAV China. Okay, that means which country system, the name of the system and country you have to remember. That is one type of question. So when you are writing this kind of mock test, you have to understand the type of questions they are asking. Rather than whether you are answering rightly or wrong, it does not matter. So you have to identify which pattern of the questions are being asked. Next, sixth one. From the point of view of evolution of living organisms, fifth one, nitrogen gas is used in tires of airplane because nitrogen gas is inert, unlike air. Of course, the right one. It is heavier than air. No way, because if it is heavier than air, obviously the aeroplane will sink. Yes or no? It forms liquid only below a very low temperature. Of course. Statement A, B, A and C. A and C. That means answer is D. Here you have to understand, students. If you would have filled air in the aeroplane tires, obviously when the generally planes don't operate in the troposphere, they operate in the stratosphere plane. So when the plane in the stratosphere, obviously what will happen? The temperatures are very cool. In that condition, the air present in the aeroplane tires, it will get ice. Are you understanding? It will ice. Okay, that gives a lot of weight. So immediately when the flight comes to the surface, landing, that ice immediately may not melt. So the tire will burst and crash landing. To avoid that, the inert gas will be used. Generally nitrogen will be filled, but experimentally they are using some other inert gases also. They are trying it. Okay, but nitrogen predominantly. And the reason behind this, one is inert gas, it don't react with any other gases. And the second one is it becomes cool only at very low temperature like -70, -170, -180. In those conditions only nitrogen will be cooled down. Okay. So answer is D, both A and C. A and C. Next, sixth one. From the point of view of evolution of living organisms, which one of the following is correct sequence of evolution? Actually, this question is, you don't need to remember this organism's name. First, you have to know that the evolution process. How the evolution process? Pisces, then amphibians, then reptiles, then aves, then mammals. Remember, first, check this. So, three options, catfish. Catfish is not the cat, okay? It's a Pisces fish. So, C, option C, tortoise. So, tortoise is amphibian, you can rule out. First one is Pisces. Then amphibian, tortoise. That means option A, option D are in the things. Next, kiwi and otter. Actually, otter is a mammal. Okay, mammal. So, mammal should come last. Kiwi is a bird. Bird should come first. So, this is about the D, option D. Catfish, tortoise, kiwi, otter. So, here, don't worry about the animals. Here, the exam is based on two concepts. Number one, first you should know the concept of Pisces, amphibians, reptile, birds, mammals. Then, the second concept is whichever the organisms they given, you should be able to understand whether that is a Pisces, whether that is an amphibian, whether that is a bird. You should be able to identify. So, this question tested two things from you. Your understanding about the basic biology and your application about the everyday organisms. This is how the question pattern will be there. That is how, students, when you are giving lot of tests, you will be very enlightened and the way you are approached to the subject also will be changed a lot. Okay. Next, which of the following technologies will be enabled by 5G mobile communication network? This is about the 5G. So, recently 5G in news. Indian Mobile Congress, our Prime Minister inaugurated the 5G technology and Reliance mentioning that by the end of 2024, they are going to fully come up with the 5G. Airtel is saying that we have already launched the 5G technology. So, with the help of 5G technology, all these three benefits will come. Internet of Things. Internet of Things is all about the device communication between the devices. Second one is edge computing. Edge computing is about it takes a real-time decision. For example, if in particular area traffic is high, in particular area traffic is low, immediately this computing system will enhance the waiting time in the higher traffic area and reduce the traffic time in the lower traffic area. By that way, it will equilibrate. So this is about the real-time technology. Edge computing is network slicing. Network slicing is all about it will give different applications based on the what kind of speed you want. For example, if you are having 2G internet, then it will provide different types of services. If you have 5G internet service, when you search in Google some information, then the information which can be accessed through 5G, that information only will be shown. That means it will divide the different services based on the what kind of services you had already. Go through this further if you want further information. This edge computing, network slicing, Internet of Things. Next one is question number 8. Which of the following are the constant of cell nucleus? Purely biology question. In cell, what kind of things will be present? DNA, RNA, histones, proteins. DNA, RNA, protein. Everything will be there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So even the DNA and RNA are also itself proteins. Okay. How can you say they are proteins? Because they are nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are obviously proteins. Yes or no? Next. Question number 9. Which of the following pairs are correctly matched? Which of the pairs are correctly matched? Oxalic acid, bleaching of leather. Acetic acid, processing of foods. Citric acid, washing metals. Benzoic acid, accumulation, batteries. If you have some common sense, obviously, you know the students, in food preservation, if you see any labeling of the food material, you will see benzoic acid a lot. So generally, benzoic acid will be used in the food preservation. So the fourth one is a wrong. So rest of the 1, 2, 3, all the rest of the 3 are right. So answer is 1, 2, 3, D. Next, 10th one. Which of the following organs helps in eliminating excretory element in human body? So unwanted things will be eliminated from human body by which organs? Obviously kidneys. Kidneys will filter blood and unnecessary thing will be eliminated. Lungs is also excretory. It will eliminate the carbon dioxide out of the deoxygenated blood. Third one, liver also purify the alcohol. Food, whatever the food you take, it will process even the medicine also. That also unnecessary harmful organs or harmful substances will be processed by liver. And obviously skin is also excretory organ. Skin contains sweat glands as well as sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands will help in the excretion in the form of oily substances. All these 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the purely biology based question. Even the eyes also sometimes helps in the in responding and lacrimal glands. Question number 11. Environment based. Which of the following statement is not correct regarding an ecotone? So tell me students, what do you mean ecotone? Yes, ecotone is a transition of one habitat to another habitat. For example, if you examine like sea or ocean and land on the other side, in between if you see marshy area is a ecotone. There is a transition zone. In other words, sometimes in the environment you will come across this word buffer zone. Okay, transition core area, transition area, buffer area. Transition is the one which change. Ecotone is the changing structure. We'll see here first statement. It is a zone where two communities meet and integrate. No. A grassland is an ecotone between the marine and terrestrial ecosystem. Of course, because it is in between marine and land. It has a far greater productivity than an individual natural ecosystem. Not like that. Changes in population or community structure is observed in this region. This is also false. Answer is B. Purely, this is environment based question. You can answer this. Yes, not regarding an ecotone. That is what? A grassland is a ecotone between the marine and terrestrial ecosystem they given. It is a grassland. But generally, grassland is a separate habitat, you will see. Between the marine and terrestrial ecosystem, what you will find? Like I said earlier, mangroves as well as the marshy lands. Grassland is separate ecosystem. Grassland, evergreen forest, desert area and all these things. 12th one. Which of the following Indian Ramsars are human-made wetlands? This purely memory based question, or if you know, you can answer. Pongdam Lake, actually this is present in Himachal Pradesh. Nandur, Madam Shehar, actually this is near the Godavari river. Tal Lake, this is also one of the projects which is in Gujarat. So all these three are the human made wetlands. All these three are the human-made wetlands. We have to conserve the wetlands for the conservation of biodiversity, and for the conservation of wetlands, we already had a Ramsar Convention. Ramsar present in which country? Iran. Very good. Okay. And we have to keep an update about how many Ramsar sites identified in India. Okay. Recently, every now and then they are keep on adding the Ramsar sites. Okay. How many now? 75. Very good. 75 Ramsar sites. And if you, when you go to interview also, by the time of that also, from your state, if any Ramsar sites are there, you have to have a good idea about your state Ramsar sites. Ramsar site, in a UNESCO World Heritage Site from your state. For example, if you are going to interview from Telangana, obviously Ramappa Temple, UNESCO World Heritage Site, they may ask you, what is a prominent animal? We'll see in the Ramappa architecture, horse. Horse is the one very prominent animal. And horse is the one very prominently used in the Vijayanagara Empire and Kakatiya Empire. So that you have to know that much detail. Next, question number 13. Consider the following piece. Manas National Park, Barak River, no. Panna National Park, Ken Betwa, yes, right. So this question you can easily remember also. Government of India proposed the Ken Betwa interlinking. Did you remember that? Ken Betwa interlinking. At that point of time, some environmentalists, they say that it may affect the ecology of Panna National Park. Third one, Papikonda National Park. Papikonda is present in where generally? So Godavari. So it is given the Krishna. So if we can easily eliminate the three. If you able to use this common sense, if you eliminate the option, third one, you can easily eliminate the option C, option D, you can eliminate. Then Silent Valley National Park, Kaveri. Kaveri is between the Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and this Silent Valley is in the Kerala. It is present in the Kuntipuza River, which divides the Silent Valley. So answer is only 2. Panna National Park is rightly matched. Ken is the one where you will see this Panna. Next, 14. Consider the following statement with respect to differentiate between the pioneer community and climax community. Always remember, pioneering community means a developing community, and climax community is the one where species are established itself. Like Charles Darwin mentioned that fittest of the survival of the fittest. Okay, in this what is this? They given this pioneer community. In pioneer community, organisms will struggle. Okay, in your key they will give the difference between the pioneer community and climax community. First option, growth rate in pioneer community is lower than the climax community. No, growth rate in the pioneer community is very fast compared to climax community, because pioneer community is where a lot of organisms will come and go. Okay. Next, species diversity in pioneer community is higher than climax community. Not. In pioneer community, most of the organisms have a chance to perish. But in the climax community, organisms will survive. So obviously biodiversity in the climax community is higher. Species diversity. Even the biomass is also very higher in the climax community. And the lifespan is also very long in the climax community. So you can able to answer this question only when you have a good knowledge about the climax community and pioneering community concepts in the environment. Next, they are asking question on the wildlife sanctuary and state. Tirthan Wildlife Sanctuary, it is present in the Himachal Pradesh, not Uttarakhand. Bhadra Wildlife Sanctuary, Karnataka. You can easily answer even though you don't know about anything, because in recently union government, they announced around 5,000 crores for the Upper Bhadra project in Karnataka. The Bhadra means obviously Karnataka, so answer will be the Karnataka. Then Turtle Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in the Uttar Pradesh, but they are saying West Bengal. So what is this model of question? This model of question is about national park and state. National park and state, or sanctuary and state. That means when you are reading the current affairs, when you are getting any prominent wildlife sanctuary, first you should know about the state. The same level of knowledge will be next level. Sometimes they ask about national park and the climate condition. What kind of climate condition, whether it is present in the tropical level or subtropical level, temperate, that is also very, very important. Okay, so practice this kind of question with the map pointing. Helps a lot. Okay, and when you are attending this kind of explanation session, you will understand how the questions are being asked in a very quick session. Because on our own also, if we allocate this kind of time, we may not get this kind of productivity from our own. Okay. Next, question number 16. Consider the following statement about the NTCA. So always remember, student, when you are reading about any authorities, any organization, always when you are as a UPSC aspirant, first you should know that particular organization is created through constitution or created through statute. Second, you have to know who will act as a chairman or how many members in that one. And third one, what are the objectives? You have to know any organization. Now, Try to remember. The statutory body established under Wildlife Protection Act 1972, right? Here you have to remember Wildlife Sanctuary Act is 1972, Project Tiger is 1973, and this National Tiger Conservation Authority in 2005. Actually, National Tiger Conservation Authority is in 2005. Okay, and this 2005 you have to remember one more thing. The Right to Information Act is also 2005. Right to Information Act. Apart from this, India-USA Civil Nuclear Deal also started in 2005. Manrega 2005. Domestic Violence Act 2005. Disaster Management Act also 2005. Okay, so first statement is right. Prime Minister of India is the chairperson of NTCNO, Ministry of Environment. Second statement is wrong. It takes care of the livelihood interest of the local people in the area surrounding the tiger reserves. Obviously, this will be the objective because it will prevent the human and tiger conflicts. And you must know that highest number of tigers present in which state? Madhya Pradesh. Second highest, Karnataka. Third one, Uttarakhand. Total number of tigers in India 2967. 2967. Till 1972, lion used to be our national animal. Then later we changed it to tiger in 1972. 1972 is the one across the world Stockholm conference also done in the same year regarding the environment. So you should able to recollect this kind of related information in a quick revision. Next, 17. Which of the following statements are correct about the National Biodiversity Authority, NBA? First one, it is a statutory body established under Biological Diversity Act, right? The headquarters of NBA in New Delhi, no, Chennai. Second statement is wrong. Next, 18th. In which among the following national parks one is likely found snow leopard in India? So first you have to understand, students, in general, tigers are 4 types. Tiger, number 1. Okay, snow leopard, second, jaguar, third, and fourth one is cheetah. Okay, third one and fourth one, that is jaguar and cheetah, you can't find in India. Now you can find, generally you can't find. So you can find only tiger and snow leopards. Snow leopard generally present across the Himalayan belt. So if you are able to know that Hemis National Park, obviously it is present across the Himalayan belt, then obviously, so the Chigam National Park, of course it is across the near the Himalaya, Jammu Kashmir. Gangotri National Park, you know that, Uttarakhand. And Govind Pashu Vihar National Park, this is also in the Himalayan belt. So in all these areas you will find the snow leopards. Okay, this is about animal and habitats, they are asking. Animal and habitats. Okay, recently of course cheetah also we brought into India, Kuno National Park. Okay, from which country we brought cheetah? Namibia. And still we are trying to bring a few more cheetahs to India. Okay, what? Today we brought? Okay, fine. Next, okay, next question is also cheetah. The cheetah is proposed to be already introduced in Kuno National Park of Madhya Pradesh. With reference to the Kuno National Park, consider the following statement. Saharia tribal community. See, this question is testing about a particular tribe related to the national park. Very, very important. Okay, yesterday also I made one YouTube video on the tribes in news. In January, whichever the important tribes in news I mentioned. So whenever you come across a tribal, you have to know what are the constitutional safeguards to the tribal. For example, Schedule 5, Schedule 6, constitutional safeguards. Even tribals can consider as a minority for their protection of their rights. Article 350A, 350B is also there for the protection of tribal rights. Even you have a PESA Act 1996, Buria Committee regarding the tribals. And the most backward tribals identified as PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, 75. Most number of PVTG in Odisha. This information you have to know regarding the tribes at least. Okay, then prominent tribes in prominent area. Saharia tribes in this national park, right? The national park has wet deciduous type vegetation. Simple, students. If the national park would have the wet deciduous means somewhat higher rainfall and plants will leave their leaves in the summertime, and again in the winter time or rainy season they will get the leaf backs. You know that forests are evergreen forest, deciduous forest, shrubs, marshy land, grasslands, and snow areas, some lichens. Generally, always remember, animals like lions and tigers, they live where their prey are present. Okay, lion is a predator, cheetah is a predator. Cheetah preys what? Deer, bison, these are the prey. Where they will present? Wherever the grass. So cheetahs and lions are present in grassland but not in the wet deciduous. Wet deciduous, because they don't get the separate. Okay, I mean, In a very few areas you will observe the transition, but overall evergreen forest, deciduous forest, grassland is the one, it not at all belong to the forest, but it is a transition zone between the forest and dry area, desert area. It is a transition. That is the reason in Sahara, South Africa, where you will have a plain stretch of the grasslands, there you will find the deer, antelope, bison, one-horned rhino. These you will find. Wherever these animals are there, then you will find tigers. That is the reason you don't find much tigers in the Amazon area and all these things. There you will find monkeys, snakes, because the trees are very close to each other. Okay, you have to remember this. Next, question number 20. Consider the following passage. It is a national park as well as biosphere reserve situated on the south bank of the river Brahmaputra. So it is related to Brahmaputra. It is located at the confluence where three of the Indian easternmost rivers, Siang, Dibang, Lohit, where three rivers meet. This park is a complex of wetland, grassland, littoral swamps and semi-evergreen forest. That means it includes everything. All kind of ecosystem is present, and it is also identified as important bird area. So this one more type of questions where they'll give the description of a particular area and they'll ask you to identify it. Yes, of course, this unless until you know about this, because you can't eliminate also. When you are looking at the option, there are more or less all these four are in the northeast area only. More or less all these four are nearby the Brahmaputra river. So the answer is Dibru-Sakhova National Park. And Dibru-Sakhova National Park is very, very popular for feral horse. Feral horse. Okay, I suggest you is, if you want to clear the prelims, especially in the environment point of view, whenever you come across any particular national park is very popular for particular animal, first Google out and try to see how the animal look like. Then the image will fix in your mind. Okay, feral horse, you will get so the tail of that particular horse as well as the back of the horse, this color, that hair is somewhat different color. The feral horse only you will see there only. Dibru-Sakhova National Park. Next, current affairs. E9 partnership is recently in news. It is related to what? Ensuring quality education for all. India is also one of the member country. Darbar move recently seen in news associated with Jammu Kashmir. So Darbar move is about summer capital, winter capital. Recently due to COVID-19, we stopped that move. Okay, Darbar move. Darbar means obviously meeting with the people, Praja Darbar, like that. 23rd, yes, discontinue. I mean, because of this COVID. And of course, now in the Union Territory, the assembly elections is not at all held, because the government of India is deciding that assembly elections will be done after delimitation commission. Delimitation commission recently done their work. In Jammu, they suggested 6 seats of increasing, Kashmir 1 seat. Recently, that was challenged in Supreme Court. Supreme Court told that yes, delimitation commission is constitutionally right. Did you remember that? Ranjana Prakash Desai. Okay. So this is about D, biennial shifting of capital of Jammu and Kashmir, Darbar move. Next, 23rd. Consider the following statement regarding the surface enhanced Raman spectroscopy. The technique used for molecular detection relying on the enhanced Raman scattering of molecule, right? The technique can be used in the rapid diagnosis of dengue. This is also right. This is in news. So fine, this kind of things, if you know information, you will answer, otherwise it's gone case. Might be it is in news, especially it might be during the C.V. Raman discovered this Raman's effect. February 28, we are celebrating as a National Science Day, and that effect, it is helping in stopping the communicable diseases, because in India dengue is very fastly growing, and a lot of people also losing life because of the dengue as well as malaria. Both are mosquito originated diseases. Okay, so in that context, so especially in science, a technique which is already existed, which is using in the current now, and I mean stopping any particular disease, then focus on that. Or understanding any already established technique which is useful in the present context, then you have to focus on that kind of disease. Next, 24. The State of World Population Report 2021 released by which of the following? Population generally deal by United Nations Population Fund. Next, consider the following statement regarding the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. It is established in 1997 to implement the convention, Chemical Weapon Convention, right? It is authorized to perform inspection in signatory countries. It will check whether countries are following or not, right? India is not a member of the OPCW. India is a member, and recently our COG, India COG, CAG, appointed as one of the secretary to this organization. So option A. First statement, second statements are right. Next 26. Consider the following statement with respect to NATO. Tell me, what is your answer for this? Both are right. First statement. NATO is a military alliance of all countries bordered by Atlantic Ocean. Do you really think this is the right answer? Turkey is also present in NATO. Does it having the border with Atlantic Ocean? Recently, Ukraine want to get membership in NATO. Does it having the border with Atlantic Ocean? No. So, to join with the NATO, there is not necessarily that they have to border with this Atlantic Ocean. That means first option is ruled out. Okay. Second one. It is based on the principle that an attack against one or several NATO members is considered as attack against all. Right. Because in NATO, they have a principle of collective defense. Collective defense. That means one country is attacked, that attack is considered an attack on the entire NATO. That is the reason Russia opposed Ukraine joining in the NATO. Because once Ukraine joins in the NATO, Russia cannot attack. So answer is 2. So this is the test, actually is a tricky statement. You generally feel that NATO means North Atlantic. All the Atlantic Ocean boundary countries are NATO. Not necessarily. Okay. You have to remember this. Even any other country also get membership at one point of time. They invited to join. India also to join with the NATO. Okay. Even sometimes generally students will under the impression that non-alignment movement also, Commonwealth. Students under the impression that in Commonwealth only countries which are previously ruled by British, they only members. No. Even a country which is not previously ruled by British also, they can get the membership in the Commonwealth. So these are the tricky things you have to remember. Next, 27. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the national policy for rare disease 2021? It clearly provides the whenever these are the things, statement, they are giving hints. It is clearly provides the definition. Whenever this kind of statement they give, these are the trap areas. So it is clearly means somewhat fishy. It is not mentioned what is the meaning of rare disease. They classified, but they did not mention. It provides for setting up of digital platform for collecting voluntarily individual contributions, right? It provides for the treatment of rare disease under Ayushman Bharat scheme. No, it is not under Ayushman Bharat scheme. For this program, separate nidhi, separate fund is being created. 28. Consider the following statement with respect to national pension scheme. The scheme is open to all Indian citizens on a voluntary basis, right? NRI is also eligible for this scheme, right? Very, very important. So, when you are reading any scheme, which ministry is launching the scheme, who is eligible for that scheme, and who are benefiting from the scheme, you have to think about it. Generally, we think in the manner that NRI won't be eligible for this scheme. Generally, we think. So, NRI is also eligible. That is the reason they frame this question. 29. Consider the following statements. The International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights is a legally binding document, right? Legally binding. The Committee on ICESR is a supervisory body. It is also right. So this is about international organizations. 30. With reference to per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, consider the following statements. They are used to make non-stick cookware, right? They are called forever chemicals because of the tendency to stick around in the atmosphere. This is also right. This is about the environmental pollution. Tell me next question. Tell me what should be the answer? Bitcoin is the world's largest cryptocurrency by market value. Yes or no? Yes. United States of America is the first country to approve Bitcoin as a legal tender. No, El Salvador. El Salvador is the first country. Next, with reference to advanced light helicopter Mk3, consider the following statement. It is indigenously developed by DRDO. No, it is developed by HAL. Very, very important. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited developed it. It can switch roles from offensive to humanitarian assistant, right? You know the students, helicopters are two types. Helicopters which carry the defense personnel and helicopters which carry the cargo, foods. It is two ways. Third one, use of advanced radar and optical sensors enables it to undertake maritime surveillance, search and rescue operations, right? 2 and 3. Next, 33. With reference to cost of living report 2022, consider the statement. Worldwide cost of living report is survey conducted by Economic Intelligence Unit, right? As per this report, cost of living in 2022 went down. No, cost of living in 2022 increased because of the Russia-Ukraine war. Its findings suggest Singapore and New York to be the most expensive cities in the world, right? That is the reason, guys, prelims is not 100% clearing exam. These kind of questions are completely out of the blue moon questions. You not necessarily know these questions. Might be luckily one of your friend who read some one random magazine, he may able to answer. That doesn't mean that you have to cover all the magazine. Some questions, first with your basic knowledge you have to solve. Unable to solve, use your common sense. With that also you are unable to solve, leave that question. If you eliminate at least 2 options, then try to attempt the question. If you are unable to eliminate 2 options, don't attempt that question. Next, with reference to Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, this recently I explained in YouTube video also in the context of this biodiversity summit, biodiversity conference, COP15, okay, conservation and biodiversity. So that is 15th summit was held. It was held in 2 phases. One was in China's Kunming, the second was in Montreal, Canada. There they reached to one framework that they want to protect 30% of the land and 30% of the water by 2030, not 2050. First statement is wrong. The framework has been legally binding on the member countries due to the failure of HE targets, not legally binding. A special trust fund is proposed, established. Yes, a fund is created. So 3, the option is right answer. Next, Prasad scheme. This scheme is aimed at infrastructure development for increasing the religious tourism, right? It is launched by Ministry of Culture, no. Ministry of Tourism. It is centrally sponsored scheme, no. It is central sector scheme. What is the difference between central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme? Yes. Central sector scheme means 100% funding by center. Central sponsored scheme means 60:40. Non-special category state, special category state 90:10. Very good. With reference to Agni 5 ballistic missile, consider the following statement. It is a long range surface to surface, right? It is designed and developed by DRDO, right? It uses cryogenic engine, no way. Okay, generally missiles use the solid engine. Missiles use the solid fuel. Cryogenic engine you will see in the GSLV. GSLV you will find cryogenic engine. Next, Prahari app launched for better governance is related to which of the following? It is related to provides? Yes, very good. Indian soldiers will get personalized services if they have any query like this. Next is culture related one. With reference to Danu Jatra, world's largest open air theatrical festival, consider the following statement. It is celebrated in the state of Jharkhand, no, Odisha. It is performed to narrate the life and deeds of Lord Krishna, right? It has been conferred with the national festival status in 2014, right? Next one, with reference to sand batteries, consider the following statement. Sand batteries. Sand batteries convert the electric energy to thermal energy, right? And their carbon footprint is lower than the lithium ion battery. It is giving higher than the lithium ion battery, wrong. And one more thing you have to remember, recently Geological Survey of India identified the largest amounts of lithium reserves in the Jammu and Kashmir. That also you have to remember. That is a 3rd level confirmation. First is the just overall brief idea, that is the GS, that is 1/4 mark they will give. Now they got more specific details, that is the 3rd status they given. Next, history related one. Consider the following statement. He was a staunch believer in Hindu-Muslim unity and had characteristics of a true Arya Samajist. Okay, we'll see which options they given. C.R. Das, Lala Hardayal, you can easily forget Lala Hardayal, Gopalkrishna Gokhale, and none of them, C.R. Das, we'll see. In 1907, his name was proposed as the presidency of Congress. So Gopalkrishna Gokhale, and you can narrow down C.R. Das nowhere in the issue, because C.R. Das was the one in after the Chauri Chaura incident, they did not like Gandhiji. C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, okay, they went within the Congress, they created Swaraj Party in 1923. In 1925, C.R. Das died. After that, Swaraj Party diluted. And C.R. Das is also the political Guruji of Subhash Chandra Bose. Next, 3rd statement. He was one of the founding members of Swaraj Party and had entered central legislature as Swarajist. Who is being referred in the statement above? Who is being referred in the statement above? So, who is that? Founding member of the Swaraj Party. But here you have to understand, students, before C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, before they formally announced, this idea was proposed by some other person. Okay, first try to understand this statement. Staunch believer in Hindu-Muslim unity and Arya Samajist. Do you really think that C.R. Das is anywhere related to Arya Samaj? No. So this answer is none of the above, and the proper answer is the Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai is the right answer. Okay, so let us check the key. Next, which of the following were the contributions of the Home Rule League to the national movement? Tell me, students. 41. So, okay, someone is saying D. First, we will go through one by one option. It is prepared the ground for the upsurge in mass participation during the non-cooperation movement. It is saying that Home Rule movement prepared a ground for the non-cooperation movement. Is it right? Yes, before that. Okay, it prepared a ground. Fine. You will understand these kind of questions when you are reading books like Bipin Chandra. Okay, not exactly directly in the spectrum book. Second, it established organization link between the town and the country. What does that mean? Between urban area and rural area. Because previously majority of the Indian national movements are confined to urban areas. Okay, this one and before this Swadeshi movement also. Okay, after this the Rowlatt Satyagraha that truly became the mass movement. Second statement, right. August declaration of Monte-Chelmsford reforms were influenced by it. Of course, to stop the actually you have to understand Home Rule movement. It is in the context of in 1908, in the 1908 Swadeshi movement, when 1907 when moderates and extremists were split, extremists were targeted by the British. That's the reason in 1908 Bal Gangadhar Tilak was in jail. So he sent to jail in 1908 and he released from jail in 1914. After Bal Gangadhar Tilak released from jail in 1914, Anne Besant convinced the Congress for the induction of the Bal Gangadhar Tilak into the Congress. So after the Bal Gangadhar Tilak inducted into the Congress, then moderates and extremists, they got a pact, Lucknow Pact in 1916. Then Anne Besant proposed the idea of the Home Rule movement and she was waited till the Congress giving the permission. But Bal Gangadhar Tilak did not wait, he started the Home Rule movement. So always remember, Home Rule movement is the idea of the Anne Besant, but Home Rule movement first started by the Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Answer is D. Next, 42. Kata system was a sea pass in the Indian Ocean region including Bay of Bengal in the early 16th century. The Katas entitled its holder freedom of movements in the Indian Ocean. It was introduced by straight away. Early 16th century, nowhere British were in the scene. Early 16th century. Early 16th century means 1500s. 1500s. And Portuguese used to follow the blue ocean policy, blue water policy. And they used to be very strength. That is the reason initially Jahangir did not allow the English, they did not give the permission. But later when he came to know that in the battle in the Arabian Sea, when Portuguese were defeated by the English, then he know that English are getting strengthened. So he given the permission to have a fort in Surat. Okay. 43. In the context of Indian freedom movement, Kudai Khidmat Gaz organized. Which option? First option we'll see. A peasant movement in Punjab. Okay. A movement for the upliftment of tribal in Gujarat. Non-violent resistance movement in Northwest Frontier Province. That is the reason, guys. This area and in this area, this Kudai Khidmat and was organized by Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. That is the reason we are calling him as a Frontier Gandhi. Frontier Gandhi. He was the one who honored with the highest civilian awards in both Pakistan as well as India. After that, Morarji Desai. Morarji Desai after that. In India, Bharat Ratna and Pakistan, Nishani, Pakistan. Next, which of the following events happened in the Lahore session of the Indian National Congress 1929? So for this, you have to understand the context that in 1920, actually in 1919, Monte-Chelmsford reform scheme. This Monte-Chelmsford reform is supposed to be reviewed within a certain timeline, and within 10 years, new act has to become. To review that, Simon Commission was established in 1927. The Simon Commission is supposed to come in India in 1928. When Simon Commission visited 1928, so many people protested Simon go back. At that time, Bergenhut, he challenged Indians. You don't want Simon Commission, but do you really have a capacity to have your own constitution? At that time, Congress established a committee known as Motilal Nehru Committee. So, but Motilal Nehru Committee given report in 1928 itself. And the committee report rejected by British. Then in the next year, Lahore session, which was preceded by Jawaharlal Nehru in 1929, they decided that from next year 1930 onwards, we will follow the Lahore session. Now we'll see the question. Resolution on National Economic Program, no, it is related to Karachi session. Okay, and fundamental rights also. Resolution to reject the two-nation theory, no. Okay, it is related to Lahore session only, but it was in 1930. Okay, not in 1940, not in 1929. So the only answer is Purna Swaraj Declaration. Actually, it is the reason behind having Republic Day on every January 26. Next 45. Consider the following statement. Tell me the right answer. Pindaris, made up of many castes and classes, were attached to the Maratha armies as mercenaries. They used to help in war. Pindaris. But I know that some viceroys even they restricted few of the bounty hunters, and they restricted some of the robbers, Warren Hastings, and few other very popular people. So first statement is right. Amir Khan and Karim Khan were the leaders of the Pindaris. This is also right. Okay, this is also right. So you can clear this kind of question unless until you are very good, or else unless until somewhere you have seen this kind of questions, but only reading and solving this kind of questions are very difficult. That is the reason, guys. Every year the cutoff marks will be only 90 for general category, or 80 something. Sometimes 90 means approximately the exam demands, if you are open category, 45 right answers out of 100. That means 50 questions you don't know, or else you will be wrong. Next question. Which of the following events happened in Lahore? Sorry, we done it already. 46. Consider the following statement about the Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings is the one. Which background, students? Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of Bengal. Governor General of India. Who is that? First Governor General of India? William Bentinck. First Viceroy of India? Canning. First Governor General of Independent India? Very good. Last one? Yeah, right. Last one? Rajagopalachari. Okay, you have to remember. So what Warren Hastings done? Warren Hastings, as soon as he came, the dual governance introduced by the Robert Clive, he abolished it. That means he introduced the dual system of governance. That statement is wrong. If you eliminate the option 2, that's it. If you eliminate the statement 2, then you will get the right answer, that is C. Got it. So always focus on this kind of statements. With simple work, you can get the answer. Consider the following statements. Paikas were the peasant militias of the Odisha, right? Paika rebellion. Even Prime Minister also mentioned a few last year, I think so. Paika rebellion. Paikas arose under the leadership of Bakshi, Jaga Bandhu, and shook the foundation of British in the eastern parts of India in 1817. Right. Both statements are right. Next 48. In the 1930s, Karshak Sanghams was well known for leading peasant movements in which of the following regions? Malabar, Karnataka. Right. Very good. Next. Consider the following passage. The nationalists were totally dissatisfied with this act. Which act? They are asking. They saw in it a mockery of their demands. They now demanded a majority for non-official elected members with the right to vote on the budget. You know, students, when Britishers were ruling India, initially Indians were not given membership in the lawmaking body till 1853 Charter Act. After 1857 revolt, they promised that Indians also will be in the part of governance in the Good Governance Act, that is Government of India Act 1858. That means from 1861 onwards, Indians started participating, 1861 onwards. So initially Indians participated as a non-official members. Initially Indians were not allowed to talk on the budget also. Later in the official members also Indians appointed. Later elections started in India. Through which act election started first time in India? Through which act election started in India for the first time? Which act? Britishers made so many acts here. Parliamentary reforms, smart exemptions for Government of India Act 1935, Indian Constitution Act 1892, Indian Constitution Act 1861, through which act for the first time elections introduced in India before 1861. Okay? For the first time elections started in India through Marley-Minto reforms in 1909. 1909. You can easily remember in there only they given separate electorate to Muslims. Did you remember that? So for the first time in India, elections conducted according to Marley-Minto reforms 1909. So this passage that they are not satisfied with Indians and they are not allowed to discuss the budget and all these things. They raise the slogan with no taxation with representation. All this opinion is in response to the Indian Councils Act 1892. This is what the description related to. Next, Ripon resolution of 1882 related to. Ripon resolution. Ripon means obviously local bodies. Answer is A. Financial devolution to local bodies. Now, who is taking care about the financial devolution to local bodies? Now, Finance Commission or State Finance Commission? State Finance Commission. Which article? State Finance Commission? 243 I. Very good. Next question. Which of the following organization were reformist in nature? Reformist organization. With this we are done with the history. Tell me. B. Okay. Tattva Bodhini Sabha and Rahmanai Mazdayan Sabha. Okay. So what is the question? Which of the is a reformist? Deoband movement is revivalist. Revivalist. So answer is right. You are right. B. 1 and 2. So with this we are done with the history, and finally we will see few polity questions in quickly, then you are done with the explanation thing. Okay. We will see polity. First question. Which of the following rights are part of the DPSP? Directive Principles of State Policy. What? Printing mistake kind of thing. Fine. We will see 84. 84 straight away. Okay. Okay. And that saves our time also. 84. With reference to features of fundamental rights provided by Indian Constitution, consider the following statement. Tell me. C. Any other option? First one. A. One only. We'll see. All fundamental rights are available against the arbitrary action of state and against the action of private individuals. First thing is, all the fundamental rights are not available against the private individuals. Only like Article 17, Article 15, these are against the private individuals. Recently, Supreme Court told that even Article 21 is also against the private individuals. Explain this. So, statement 1 is wrong. Second statement. All the fundamental rights are positive in nature. No way. Some are negative in nature. Some fundamental rights are saying that state should not do this. Yes or no? Next. Fundamental rights are not absolute but qualified. Of course, fundamental rights are not unlimited. They are limited in nature. So one thing they are giving and the other one they takes. That is one of the criticism on the fundamental rights. Next, with reference to the renunciation of Indian citizenship, consider the following statement. Which one is right? A. 1 and 2. We'll see. Government of India may terminate the citizenship of India if the citizen has been living outside of India for 5 years. No, 7 years. Next statement. So first one is wrong. If you eliminate the first one is wrong, the only answer is C. 2 and 3. Next, consider the following statement. Which one is right? 86. Okay, which one you think answer? When a person relinquishes citizenship, every minor child of that person also loses Indian citizenship by default unless until they specially register for citizenship. Yes, unless until they register themselves. Okay. For example, people who are living in abroad, they took the American citizenship. Automatically, their children will lose the Indian citizenship unless until those parents brought their child to the Indian embassy and they register for the Indian citizenship. Okay, because citizenship also related to descent. In India, citizenship is by birth, by descent, by registration, by naturalization. 4 methods, not by religion. But that is the main controversy regarding the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. Are we clear? Next, 86 question. Tell me which one is answer? A. 1 and 3. For Article 30, a community can be declared as a minority on the basis of religion, language, race. For 30, a community can be declared as a minority on the basis of course, because Article 30 deals with the educational rights of minorities. So, minority can be based on religion or based on the language or based on the race. In India, we don't have racial minority. We have a linguistic minority and religious minority. Second one, the right to establish and administrate educational institution by the minority is not absolute. No, it is absolute rights. Okay, even they got the protection in such a level that if you are taking any property from the minority institutions, they can go for the writs. But normally, if you are taking property from any other people, you cannot go to the writs because right to property is not fundamental rights. You have to claim according to Article 300A. So, absolute statement is true is wrong. Very fine details you have to know. Solve these questions. Statement 3. Article 30 intends to place minorities at advantage position over the majority. So, Article 30 intends to place minority at an advantage position. It's a incorrect statement. First one is incorrect statement, and third one is also incorrect statement. Second one is the right to establish and administrate education institutions by the minority is not absolute. It is absolute. Not absolute means incorrect statement they are asking. So first statement is incorrect and third statement is incorrect. So answer is 1 and 3. For Article 30, a community can be declared as, yes, incorrect. Now for the first statement, for Article 30, a community can be declared a minority on the basis of religion, language or race. Okay, yes, incorrect. Second one, the right to establish and administrate educational institution by the minority is not absolute. Okay, not absolute they are saying. You have to understand. Okay, it's absolute. Yes, all are incorrect. 1, 2, 3. D. Next, consider the following statement. The district judge does not have appellate jurisdiction in criminal matters. He has appellate jurisdiction in the criminal matters. Which statement is correct means second statement is correct. The session judge has power to impose capital statement, right? Even the death penalty also they can impose. Even we have seen recently in Warangal, when a guy done rape on minor girl, the fast track court established the fast track court which is maintained by the district judge qualification, and they given the death penalty also. Okay, fine. Next, in which of the following cases the president exercises the discretionary power? Article 88. Tell me. Article 88. Sorry, question number 88. What is the right answer? All A. We'll see. When he sends back advice given by the Council of Ministers and asks the ministers to reconsider the decision. S. But the same decision back again, president has to accept. Article 74, clause 2. When he withhold or refuse to give assent to a money bill. This is a wrong statement. Because president don't have any veto powers on the money bill as well as constitution amendment bill. Actually, when he withhold or refuses to give assent to a money bill passed by the parliament means president here can reject the money bill, but he cannot return the money bill. Okay. Yes, actually they would have put this question, this statement like this. Third one, when he dismisses the Council of Ministers after it cannot prove the confidence of Lok Sabha, it is also discretionary. So second one is, so why it is wrong means, generally I will tell you, president can, president, that power is there regarding this. So generally when they are asking the question means, this type of question is, they are asking about the president constitutional situational discretionary power. Okay. So president rejecting the veto power is not, rejecting the, money bill is not about his discretionary power. President will exercise that only on the Council of Ministers advice. When the Council of Ministers advice will be given, for example, a particular government introduced money bill, that government dissolved. The next government, they don't want to pass that money bill. Then what the president will do? President will reject. The president don't use the discretion. But president can use the discretion in the pocket veto. If they would have given the pocket veto option, that's right. Always remember, president use the discretion under following condition. Number 1, when no party gets clear majority, which party to be invited, their president use the discretion. Second one, when a particular party lost the confidence of the House in the no confidence motion, the advice given by the Council of Ministers may not followed by the president. Second. Third one, when a particular government lost the confidence of the lower house, president can use his discretionary power and dismiss that government. These are the 3 things where the president can use the discretion. And of course, marginally president can use the discretion, limited discretion, according to Article 74, clause 2. He can return the advice, but if the advice given back, the president has to approve. So with respect to bill, money bill, president cannot use the discretion. So answer is only 1 and 3. S, constitutional but limited discretion, because it can be overpowered by the same Council of Ministers by the second time. Next question answer. With reference to the appointment of Prime Minister, which article gives information about the appointment of Prime Minister? 78. Article 75, clause 1. Article 75, clause 1 deals with the Prime Minister and the ministers are appointed by the President, and ministers are appointed by the President on the recommendation of Prime Minister. Article 78 deals with all the executive actions of the Union government on the name of the President. And whatever the decision Prime Minister takes, it has to convey to the President. If any decision not conveyed to the President, sometimes President may ask the Prime Minister to convey the information. That's Article 78. So, first statement, before his appointment as Prime Minister, he must prove his majority in the Lok Sabha. No. That is the case. How the Devendra Fadnavis would have been Chief Minister when for a few days he was the Chief Minister. Did you remember that in the early hours of the day, the Maharashtra, he took as an oath when Ajit Pawar given the support. But after a few days, he know that he are unable to support. Yeah. Yes. Yes, yeah. At the time of appointment, he must be a member of either house of the parliament. Does it require? No. Without being a member, after 6 months. Which article is saying that? Just briefly written. Which article is saying that? Does it constitution really saying that a person can be a minister without for 6 months or convention? Yes, I am saying is a person who is appointed as a minister, he must get a membership within 6 months. Does it we are following as a convention or really you think constitution is saying about it?
Article is
There? Srikanth? Yes, article is there according to article 75 class 5. So why I ask you this question is, sometimes in polity they will test your knowledge that whether it is present in the constitution or whether it is not in the constitution. Very, very important. For example, if I ask you, pro tem speaker is a constitutional or present in the rule book or is a convention? I am giving 3 options. Within 6 months, article 75 clause 5. Yes, article 75 clause 5. So tell me, pro tem speaker is a source present in constitution or convention or rule book? In the constitution? Convention. For example, quorum, not following the 1/10 members. It is in the rule book or convention or constitution? Constitution, article 100. So this is what you have to know. For example, giving a leader of the opposition, giving the deputy speaker position to opposition parties. It is in the Lok Sabha rule book, convention or constitution amendment? Convention. Okay. So these are the things you have to know. Next. So that means answer is D, neither one nor two. 90. Question number 90. Tell me what is the right answer? 90. See, with reference to the 0 hour in the Indian Parliament, consider the following statement. Okay. It's an informal device available to the members of the Parliament to raise matters without any prior notice. Right? You don't need to ask. Okay. Just you can raise your question. Ministers may answer, may not answer. It's a feature borrowed from British Constitution. No, it's an Indian innovation. 0 hour. Next. So 2 should not be there and 1 should be there. So answer is obviously C. D. It is elaborated in the rules of procedure. No way it is not elaborated. Next, 91. With reference to National Legal Service Authority, NALSA, consider the following statements. So why you have to know is, actually in India, in Indian courts, cases are pending a lot. To reduce the cases, you are encouraging the Lok Adalat, and in that process you form the National Legal Services to give the free legal aid. Which constitutional provision is talking about the free legal aid? 39A. It added through which amendment? 42nd Amendment 1976. So, regarding this National Legal Service Authority, all these 3 statements are right. It is, Act was made in 1987, that CJI is Patron-in-Chief of NALSA. Third one, NALSA disburses funds to NGOs for implementation of legal aid programs, right?
So what is the meaning of patron?
Patron-in-Chief means ex officio, we can call it as. 92. With reference to PAC, consider the following statement. Tell me answer. D. B. Yes, very good. It was set up for the first time under the Government of India Act 1935, no, 1921. Second, the committee consists of members from both the houses of Parliament. S. It examines the annual report of CAG. That is also S. Second and B. Right. 93. With reference to Article 20 of the Indian Constitution, consider the following statement regarding the protection against double jeopardy. Tell me. A. Second one is, it is available in proceeding before, no, departmental proceedings, it is not available. Very good. 94. With reference to a bill seeking amendment to the federal provisions of the Constitution, consider the following statements. What is the right answer? 94. Okay, fine. The bill cannot be introduced without prior permission of the President. No way. For the prior permission of the President, what bills you require? Money bill and state formation bill. State formation bill. That's it. For this federal one, not required. So, President prior permission is not required. That means eliminate the one. When you eliminate the answer will be the B. That's it. So, yes, I will explain. It must also ratified by the legislature of half of the states by simple majority. Right? Anything related to federal things. For example, if you want to create one new All India service under Article 312, then obviously half of the state need to be accepted. Anything related to federalism. The President must give his assent to the bill because it is a constitutional amendment generally. Federal related thing. Federal related thing generally constitution amendment bill. So, constitution amendment bill, President cannot exercise the veto powers. 95. With reference to Pitt's India Act 1784, consider the following statements. It combined the commercial and political activities of the company. No, it's separated actually. Next two statements are right. D. 96. This is about the drafting of constitution. Finance and Staff Committee, Credentials Committee, Order of the Business Committee. In this they ask us to match. So, Finance and Staff Committee is Rajendra Prasad. So, first must be A. So, answer is A. Next 97. 104th Constitution Amendment Act. What is your answer? 97. A. Through 104 Constitution Amendment Act 2019, the nomination of Anglo-Indian community members in Lok Sabha and Assembly has been removed. Right? Assembly also removed. Because it is about Article 334. What is Article 334 is saying that the SC/ST reservation and Anglo-Indian community reservation will be reviewed for every 10 years in both Lok Sabha and Assembly. Next, each state is allotted a number of seats in Lok Sabha in such a manner that the ratio between that number and its population is same for all the states. Right? Answer is C, both 1 and 2. Obviously, based on the yes. Yes, statement 2 is not related to Anglo-Indian. Statement 2 is related to Lok Sabha seats. Why you must be under the impression that both statements should be linked? Second statement is completely separated from Anglo-Indians. Yeah, so must tell me. Each state is allotted a number of seats in Lok Sabha in such a manner that, which manner? The ratio between that number and its population is the same for all states. That means, for example, in Karnataka, for 10 lakhs population, you given 1 seat. In Uttar Pradesh, for 20 lakh people, you are giving 2 seats. When
it comes to AP, it is around 25. So, Karnataka population, AP population, Karnataka population,
1971 check. This number we are talking about 1971 census, not according to the changed census. So, Lok Sabha Delimitation Commission, Article 82, main thing is Delimitation Commission will ensure the ratio between the population and the number of seats allocated to the states are proportion entire India.
Same for all the states.
And ratio same for all states. And that means I am saying for 10 lakhs in Karnataka you are having 1 MP. For 20 lakhs in UP you will have 2 MPs. The ratio is same for all states. Next 98. What is the right answer? 98. Under Article 352, the President can declare national emergency when the security of India or part of it is threatened by war, external aggression or armed rebellion, right? Emergency declared on the grounds of armed rebellion is also known as internal emergency, right? Previously it used to be the internal disturbance. With 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978, we changed it. 99. Tell me what is the right answer? Which one? D? B. Saying D? B. In 2014, the new state of Telangana came into existence as 29th state. State Reorganization Act merged the Telugu speaking areas of Hyderabad state with the Andhra state to create enlarged Andhra Pradesh state. Right. It is based on the Fazalali Commission report. Yesterday I told in the rapid revision. 100th one. With respect to writ jurisdiction, consider the following statements. Tell me. B. The writ of habeas corpus cannot be issued against private individual. No. The writ of habeas corpus can be issued against private individuals also. For example, if your employee if your employer is illegally confined you, then some of your relative can go and find in a police station that, then court will issue the habeas corpus against your employer. That means against private individual, this can be done. Second statement, the writ of prohibition is available only against judicial body. No, that is about the prohibition and certiorari. That is about the prohibition and certiorari, not this. Third one, the writ of quo warranto can also sought even by a non-aggrieved person. That means someone who is closely relative to that person. It's not pill. Pill is not applicable, but someone not related to the aggrieved person also, they can go to the court. So this is about, answer is D. That's it, students. In 1 hour 15 minutes or 12 minutes, we discussed about all this range of questions with explanation. So this is how, when you are attending the test explanation, your time will be, productivity will be 10x easily, because in the same timeline, you would have not revised all these questions. Are we clear? Rest of the questions, they will give the key in the website or whatever it may be. Download that and go through that key. That's it. Thank you.